We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Tịnh chiến yêu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô Sa Đàn Thù Sư Chế Đô Ye La Hư Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Đà Đắc Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Hà Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa ba he jian wan jie nan zao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Huineng, Great Master YongHua, all monks and nuns, and all good advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、六祖、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Lục Tổ, Hòa Thượng Tiên Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Okay, hello everyone. Today is the 2nd of July, the second day of the second half of 2022. We're here to continue discussing the second chapter of the 6th Patriarch Sutra. We are on slide 82. The great teacher is teaching us, giving us the sudden teaching about Prajna. The Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha himself, taught Prajna to his disciples already. But the 6th Patriarch reinterpreted the Prajna teachings from Shakyamuni Buddha in a way that would be more appropriate, much more effective for his disciples and especially us as well, Chan practitioners. Right? All right, so 82. Let's delve right into it. 82. Text. Good knowing advisors. Mahaprajna Paramita is the most honored, the most supreme, the foremost. It does not dwell, does not come or go.
善知识，摩诃般若波罗蜜最尊最上最第一，无住无往亦无来。
All right, 83, commentary. He says, Mahaprajna Paramita. This is the Dharma of the enlightenment, the practice of great enlightenment in Buddhism. That teaching is the most honored. 最尊 here, honored here, refers to what? Being honored by all the people in the know, in the entire universe. More specifically, is most honored by the bodhisattvas and mahasattvas. Okay, they are the people in the know. So they know the value. They are enlightened. They know the importance of this Prajna paramita. That's why they honor. They really greatly they honor the teaching from the Buddha. Okay, the most supreme. Why is it 最上, most supreme? Meaning that there's no Dharma door that's higher than the Mahaprajna Paramita, Dharma doors. Meaning that all these paramitas that the Buddha taught us, the 6 paramitas, the 10 paramitas, are the foremost. They are the most supreme. There's no higher Dharma doors than the paramitas Dharma door. In other words, when you practice Mahayana, there's no higher Dharma doors than the paramitas. And the paramitas, or the way of the practices, or the methods of practice in Mahayana, the core of Mahayana practices. So it's most supreme. It's nothing higher, nothing better, nothing more effective. The foremost meaning that it is what I just said. It is the most powerful. It is will bring us to the highest level of attainment. Will bring us directly to the fruition of Buddhahood. And if you're not there yet, you practice the paramitas, will bring you to various fruitions in the Mahayana spectrum. Okay, so therefore, it's foremost. It's no Dharma door that's higher than this. That is more effective than this at all. Okay, and what is this Prajna paramita? It does not dwell, nor does it go or come or go. Okay, it does not dwell. This particular bodhisattva practice here does not dwell. What is dwelling? To dwell, it means to depend on, rely on, need to dwell somewhere. Okay? So it does not need to reside anywhere. It does not need a temple, does not need a country, does not need a tree, and needs nothing whatsoever. Okay? Doesn't need a house, doesn't need anything. Okay? So this paramita practice here has no requirements at all. Okay? It does not come or go. Come or go, meaning, why does it not come or go? Meaning that this Prajna paramita, is it different here? Did it come here from China? No. It has always been here. Master YongHua only brought it to this country to remind us, okay, of what it is, what we already know. Okay? It does not go. It did not leave from China. It didn't go from India to China, China to the United States. It's the same Prajna paramita that's available throughout the Dharma realm. Therefore, does not come nor go. Did not come here from China, didn't come from India to China, has always been there. Okay? It's only formalized by the migration of the patriarchs. All right? Next, 84. All Buddhas of the 3 periods of time emerge from it.
三世诸佛从中出。
The Buddhas, they need to practice this Dharma door, Mahaprajna paramita, in order to accomplish Buddhahood. This happened already for the Buddhas in the past, all Buddhas in the past practiced Prajna Paramita. That's how they became Buddhas. In the present, same thing. All Buddhas right now who are alive, they are still practicing Maha Prajna Paramita. Okay? In the future, Buddhas who will become Buddhas or future Buddhas will also practice Prajna Paramita, meaning that Maha Prajna Paramita is practiced by all Buddhas at all times. Okay? Even when the Buddhas manifested, appearing in the world as a layperson, as a prince, okay, he still practices Maha Prajna Paramita, even before he became a Buddha. Is that clear? So, all Mahayana practices are Maha Prajna Paramita practices. The Zhongzhong Chu emerged from it. Emerge from it. Well, there's some semantics here. I don't care to go into it. It's okay, either way. I made a comment that from the translation, Chu, Zhongzhong Chu, Chu here is come out, emerge from it. That's correct translation. But that's syntactic. Probably I felt that arise from it is better, but it's okay. Emerge is also okay. 86. You should use great wisdom to destroy the 5 skandhas, afflictions, and thus.
当用大智慧打破五蕴烦恼尘劳。
87 commentary. You, the great Patriarch says, you is a reminder. You, this is what we are supposed to do. What are we supposed to do? Use great wisdom to destroy the 5 skandhas, afflictions, and thus. Okay. Now, 5 skandhas are the Buddhist technology. Okay, I keep on emphasizing this to you. If you want to become enlightened, you need to destroy the 5 skandhas. In particular, if you want to certify to a 4th stage arhatship, you need to destroy the 5 skandhas. You need to overcome the 5 skandhas, if you will. Okay? So that's the first stage of enlightenment. And then he also says you also need to destroy the afflictions, to destroy the afflictions and the dust. So not only must you destroy the 5 skandhas, you also need to work on your afflictions. Okay, afflictions, I've been trying to teach my disciples now for quite a while. I saw that I help them destroy their afflictions. Okay, and as you arise, as you improve, your afflictions become fewer and fewer, albeit more intense. Okay, the lesser affliction will be removed, and the bigger afflictions remain. So the work becomes more and more challenging. So that's why he says you need to use great wisdom to destroy the afflictions. And thus are the 6 sense objects. Thus are, number 1, sights, the object of the eyes, sounds, the object of the ear organ, smell, the object of the nose organ, taste, the object of the tongue organ, object of touch, which are the opposites of what's the sense organ? The skin on the body. And finally, the sixth dust is the dharmas, or things that are conceived by the mind. Okay, so you need to destroy the dust. How do you destroy the dust? You take a hammer and destroy them? No. What he's referring to, he talks about afflictions, meaning inside. You need to destroy your attachments inside. Your afflictions arise from your attachment inside your mind. Okay? Dusts are the attachment to exterior things, external things. So therefore, he's teaching here, he says, you need to destroy internal attachments as well as external attachments. That's the differentiation between afflictions and dusts. Okay? So internally, you need to get rid of your afflictions. Okay? Affliction meaning here refers to your being judgmental, you being depressed, you being lazy, you being irreverent. All those afflictions, you need to destroy them. Okay? Your internal attachments, your attachments. Thus are attachments to outside things, to dharmas. Okay? Meaning that you need to reduce your attachment to external things. Is that clear? So that's what cultivation is. You need to get rid of the 5 skandhas, meaning destroy the ego, and then you also need to destroy your internal attachments and external attachments. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir. 8.
So when I'm sitting and it hurts, so the affliction arises in me that says I want to unbuckle and I'm so mad and it hurts really bad. But where does the dust come in that sort of scenario? Because I can see the affliction inside of myself, right? And when
what affliction is that? Can you more precisely name it for me? What is that affliction? Nature of that affliction?
Maybe it's the attachment to my body and the attachment to comfort.
Very good. You see, you have 2 attachments right there. You attach to comfort, okay, and attachment to the body. Yes?
So is that what's causing the affliction?
And the comfort is internal. Yes? What about body?
Well, I think I think all attachments are probably internal, because you're the one that's attached. It's not the object that's attached to you. So I'd probably say that it's both internal.
Body is external. Okay, internal is in your mind. And your mind rejects it. And the dust is external to your mind. Yes?
So your mind's attached to it because it thinks it's external?
No, it's simply, it changes. He wants to differentiate inside versus outside. Okay? Inside are those feelings. It's feelings of pain, feelings of comfort, feelings of joy, feeling of sadness. Some people say, I feel so sad, this is so wonderful. You know, I'm depressed, this is so wonderful. They like it. Okay, this concept of having the blues turns them on. Whereas some others prefer typically, or people prefer to be comfortable and fun and joy and pleasure, those things. Those are internal attachments. Okay? Externals are outside, if you will. So in this case here, for your particular case, external here, you can look at it as, because you know, external to your mind. Okay? Or external objects. Yes.
But if I'm attached to an object, doesn't that mean I'm attached to how the object makes me feel? So if I was attached to like a car, for example, wouldn't that be an attachment to how the car makes you feel?
Well, it's at the car level first. You don't worry about the feeling yet. Okay? What's the difference? That's a good question. Let's say you like the red car. For some reason, you decided you like a red car. What kind of attachment is that? What kind of affliction is that? It's internal, yes? You like a red car. You decided you like a red car. Somebody else says, what's the big deal? I prefer black. Okay? So you see, you have an affliction, attachment to the red car. The other guy has an affliction too, attachment to a black car. They still are afflictions. So far, so good? What about dust? Okay, why can't we simply stop at afflictions and not worry about dust? Why do you have to go to outside? Why we can't simply stay inside and say, hey, I have no affliction to red cars? I have no attachment to red cars, but I have 20 of them. Why? Why are you laughing? I'm serious. I have no attachment to red cars, but I just happen to have 20 of them. I don't necessarily like red cars, but if someone gives me a red car, I take it. And you want me to give you another one? I take it, even though I'm not attached to it. Yeah?
You're right. That's why I'm confused. Why don't we just stop at the afflictions which are internal? Why does he explain an external object when that has nothing to do with us?
It has something to do with us. I may not be attached to red cars, but I still have 20 of them. Isn't there something wrong in that picture? Yeah?
Well, I personally wouldn't say not necessarily. I personally would say not necessarily if you're not attached to them. If one of them just blows up and breaks and 19 of them break, if that causes an affliction in you, I'd say that's that is an attachment, but then you would only have known if it caused affliction.
Okay, now we're coming to this level, okay? Let him have it. Vicky, let him have it. What's wrong with his argument? He says, of course, he says, I'm not attached to a red car, so I keep 20 of them just in case 19 of them breaks down. I still have one left to drive. What's wrong with that argument?
Well, you're attached to all of them, every single one of them. Obviously.
You're attached.
You're afraid. You're afraid. What if
you don't
something
like the
happens?
red cars, but you're attached to owning 20 red cars. It's a different kind of affliction.
But still an affliction.
Okay? So you can look at it internally as an affliction. It says, why did my mind move? As an affliction. Okay? I mean, you say, but my mind doesn't move. I have no affliction. Fantastic, good for you. But I look and check in your garage, I see 20 red cars. You cannot say, then, I'm done. I have no afflictions. I happen to have 20 cars, 30 cars, or 3 cars. It makes no difference because I'm not afflicted. Yeah. But guess what happens? You're not afflicted right now, but you happen to have 20 cars in your garage. And then 19 cars break down. What's going to happen to you? You're going to get afflicted because you kept 19 or more than you need. So the 19 cars, the 20 cars are afflictions waiting to materialize. How is that for an argument? You disagree?
Well, it all comes back to afflictions. So why would you have to get rid of your dusts instead of just get rid of the afflictions? Does that make sense? Because like you said, it's like if all the cars break, I was just saying 19, if all 20 break and you go in debt, you can't get a new one.
Okay.
Let's just say, for example, I mean that would cause the affliction. So why don't we just deal with the afflictions?
It makes sense, but it sounds stupid. Yes, too. Let him have it. Beat him on the head. Hit him.
Thank you, Master. Because I think it's like baby steps. So like it's really hard to get rid of the affliction so we can start with the dust.
Okay, let's flip it around. He says, I have no afflictions, but I'm going to have 20 cars. And that's why I pointed out to him that if you still have 20 cars, you have an attachment to cars that doesn't manifest yet as an affliction. Okay? See, it's affliction waiting to manifest. What about you say, what if I don't want 20 cars so that I have no affliction whatsoever? Then what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that argument? Yeah, beat yourself.
Well, if you avoid getting any car or 20 cars because you don't want to have an affliction pop up. If you lost the 20 cars, then that would still be an attachment.
Yeah, attachment to what?
To affliction. To
fear. Yeah. You're afraid. You're afraid to be afflicted. Darn it. Damn you do, damn you don't.
Yeah, so here's the problem I have. So if
you only have one problem? So
No.
I heard two problems. Now you have another one?
Well, why would you want to get rid of the dusts if the dusts bring up your afflictions, and the afflictions are the things that show you where your problems are and you want to deal with the afflictions?
Somebody give me a gun. He has 4. Shoot him.
You're so funny. You're so funny. Okay, there's some famous comedian. He has over 20 cars. What is it, 30 cars? And they're all like
Expensive,
very
extremely expensive. And
As
just
if
one
he doesn't
comedian is
care.
actors as well.
As if he doesn't care for every single car and every single thing, and he spends so much per car.
Yeah.
20,
and
30,
he would drive one.
100,000.
He'd drive one, to go get some ice cream, and he parks and he runs into the ice cream shop, gets some ice cream, and runs right back and check his car. Say, did anybody nick me?
I remember I met a guy who was his mechanic, and how he takes care of all of his cars. They're all being tuned up every, so often they're on a rotation of what is being maintained and what is going to have the oil change and blah, blah, blah. I mean, to the nth degree, he's so overwhelmingly in love with every car.
Yeah, he probably loves his car more than his wife.
Well, you have over 20, weigh
it's better. One wife and 20 cars. I mean, it's no comparison, let's face it. He can change car much more easily. Cheaper. Yes, 9.
Daniel W. Not attached to car, meaning no feelings, but so the payments, insurance for the vehicle is a sort of attachment also?
No, it's not attachments at all. It's called philanthropy. We pay the government gladly. and insurance companies. So what was the third case again? What's your objection again, number 3? You remember? I don't remember. It's all nonsense.
Yeah.
That's why as soon as you guys speak and you finish speaking, what did you say? It sounds like nonsense to me. What's a nonsense?
Well, for example, okay, so I've recently been seeing that.
I want the same thing. Do not give me number 4. What's number 3? Third objection.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So basically, I think that, you know, different objects that you're attached to are actually beneficial for your cultivation, because once there's a problem with that object you're attached to, which is inevitably going to happen, it brings up an affliction in you, and so it shows you where you're attached. So I actually think that's a good thing if you can find the affliction from the objects that cause you an affliction, if that makes sense.
It makes sense at the stupid level. Okay, what's so stupid about this argument? Yeah, shoot yourself.
I mean, what?
You know, only in America, let me tell you, in Vietnam, in China, in Japan, they would never talk like this. I know, I mean, it's so difficult to teach, you know, people here. But go ahead, please. We pretend to be patient.
Well, maybe what's stupid about the argument is you'd have to be attached to something in the first place, and maybe by doing that you'd create attachments. But I think we already have attachments, so the external objects we're attached to already could provide us some benefit when they cause us afflictions. Does that make sense?
So you just shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, because I know my argument's like not perfect. I'm not perfect. So I'm just trying to, you know, come up with every angle.
Every imperfect ways.
Every angle at this.
Every
so
imperfect ways.
Yeah.
Q&A. And this is the kind of thing that online people just get jumping up and down and say, you know, I agree. No, I disagree. I agree. I disagree. And they're going to argue and argue and argue. Q&A.
We cannot hear Gold Forest.
It's okay. Give him a few minutes. Usually it's delay.
Emitofuo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Master. So if you know you're attached to something, but it's very unlikely that you're going to lose it, should you get rid of it? Because the actual conflict, the affliction is not going to happen most likely, but you know that you will be afflicted if you lose it. Should we
lose it? Okay, so it's a good question. So let's say you know you attached to your wife. Should we lose it because because they're gonna afflict us? I'm of the opposite camp. I prefer to have wives so that they afflict us like hell. Yeah?
Yeah, see, Master, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, for example, the wife would be a dust because it's an attachment, right? It's an attachment to an external object.
Son, be careful. You're not married. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm speaking strictly Buddhist technical terms.
No.
Yeah.
We're not talking about theory here, my friend. We're talking about real life experience. If you're not married, shut up.
I'm just saying this.
I only take it from married people. When we talk about should we get rid of our wives, only married people need to apply.
Well, I apply it to my mom. I apply it to my mom or my family.
It's
or
not
my
the
brother.
same, man.
But for
Your mother is very different from your wife. It better be the case.
Okay, let's say for example, like my brother or something, right?
Your brother too will be different, so different from your wife. There's no replacement for your wife.
Okay, but let's just say my brother is a dust.
And by the way, just for the record, no substitute for mothers either. Oh, praise the Lord.
But like, let's say example, my brother is an external object, so that technically that would be a dust, right?
No. Your brothers are not dusts. They're not external objects. They're lovable, living beings.
Yes, but it's external to me, and it can cause me affliction.
I don't know what kind of family you have, but it's a little bit off. Go ahead, Pinky.
I have a prediction for you.
Yeah, let's hear it. You will become a Buddha in... Don't hold your breath.
I have a prediction for you. You're going to get married, and then you'll know.
I hate to be that woman, wife of his. He's going to come back, honey, I don't want to be attached to you, but I'm going to keep you around just to afflict me. And then you find out what it's like to talk to your wife like that. Q&A.
Master, where it gets tricky is where you don't see any harm, where you rationalize to yourself that there's no harm. I mean, there's some things that are obvious, like, I don't know, drugs, right? Alcohol, or you're attached to eating a lot, but sometimes you're like, it's not going to cause any harm, but you kind of deep down know you're attached.
So, you're still talking about attachment to dust, yes? So you see, you guys understand why the great... I'm glad we have the discussion. Most people, they would sweep it under the rug. Go ahead, Q&A.
Oh, that was it.
Okay, thank you. So it's perfectly okay to bring up your ideas no matter how stupid they are. But it's from that you understand why he had to talk about afflictions versus dust. They work together, okay? Because look at it this way, okay? Affliction, you can see them, okay? But dust are not as obvious, okay? They could be disguised in the form of, I need it. I need my mother. You see? And you think it's normal. You see why? That's why his teaching is so complete. It's so fascinating to me. That, that usually, normally, for most monks I know, they would stop at affliction and say, you should get rid of your affliction, like Master YongHua says. Deal with your afflictions, reduce your afflictions, cut off your afflictions. But teaching is different. You see the precision here. He says afflictions and dust. And this order, okay? The 5 skandhas, the afflictions, and the dust. It's fascinating, the precision he has. Because why the 5 skandhas, first of all? He's talking about unless you have some wisdom. The wisdom begins when you get rid of the ego. The ego is so evil. It is so deceptive that unless you get rid of it and you verify, you certify that you have no ego left, then we can talk. But if you say, I'm not worried about afflictions, I'm not worried about my skandhas, let me worry about my afflictions, let me worry about my cars. Guess what? Troublemaker. Guess what's wrong with the argument? He says, the 5 skandhas takes too long, too difficult. Let me start first with my afflictions. Okay? Let me get rid of my afflictions. Let me get rid of my dust, attachment to dust. What's wrong with the argument? They grow again. See? The afflictions multiply like crazy. The dust multiply like crazy because of the 5 skandhas. See how beautiful it is? He says, this is the order you need to work at. The 5 skandhas. Okay? And then you work on your afflictions. And then you work on your dust. Whereas, again, let me point out to you, what I learned from Master YongHua is that he says, get rid of your afflictions. That's a Chinese corporate line. They all teach that. The Vietnamese, the Chinese, the Koreans say, get rid of your afflictions. No, this teacher says, no, you're focusing on the wrong things. Afflictions should not be the first priority. First priority is that get rid of that ego of yours, that evil ego of yours. That's a big problem. First things first. Yes, 8.
So he's basically saying that the source of the afflictions are 5 skandhas, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And so what you don't realize is that by looking at these priorities, in order to get rid of the 5 skandhas first, you still need to work on the affliction and the dust. But through the affliction and dust, you get rid of the 5 skandhas. But the priority has always been that you focus on your 5 skandhas, your ego first. Okay? You don't, here's a problem, you monks and nuns, okay? In particular, monks and nuns. He said, I was that way. I thought that, in order to, let's say, contribute to Buddhism, in order to help living beings, yes, I'm going to build a big temple. I'm going to have a lot of disciples. Sounds familiar? Sounds reasonable? Okay? What's wrong with that? I have an affliction. I'm attached to saving people. I'm attached to having a big temple. I only disguised it, okay, as to help others. Because I want to help others. I want a big temple. You see that? See that problem? Yeah, so that's why the way he teaches is so accurate. He says, focus on the ego, on the self. Get rid of the self. That has to happen first before you can build on top of it. Okay? After you get rid of the ego, the self, then focus on your affliction. Focus inside. Don't look at others. Understand? Let's say you say, I'm a 4th stage Arhat, I have no egos. But look, oh, he's terrible, oh, he's terrible, he's no good. Then what happens to you? You will not be able to develop Prajna wisdom. That's what idiots do. As soon as they say, oh, I am enlightened. Oh, look. Oh, that's not right. Oh, that's so wrong right there. Oh, that is no good. I'm better. They go back and say, I'm better. I know more. Isn't that a violation of 5 skandhas? I'm better. Yes?
So that thought, that feeling that I'm better, You know, what you just said, how it violates the 5 skandhas, is that because it's feeling and thinking?
Because they're attached to the affliction.
So if you're attached to an affliction, it has to do with the 5 skandhas?
It doesn't work like that. It's okay. The question doesn't make sense, but it's okay. And the point here is that it's not for you. The question you ask is out of your range. That's why you ask a stupid question, if you will. And when you get to having egoless state, then I talk about affliction of the people who have no self. They have affliction they don't know about. Okay? And after they get rid of the ego, they get rid of the affliction, there's still some dusts that they have to deal with, they don't know about. And that's why I love this teaching. It is so beautiful. It is so precise. Okay? It's so difficult because for us, for example, to teach you meditation, we cannot say, I'm going to teach you to meditate in order to kill your ego. We say what? So we can't say that. That's why the Chan teaching is restrictive in that sense. We cannot go that far when we teach you Chan, unless we want to scare you away. It's your ego that brings you here. It says, I like it here. I like you, Master. Can I take refuge with you? And they say, but there's no one who wants to take refuge with me. Get out of here. See the problem? So that's why his teaching here, the Master Huineng's teaching here, it is so precise. This is you need to learn to appreciate it. Someday, I hope. All right? So the 5 skandhas is a starting point. The ego is a very simple thinking. What is the 5 skandhas? Form, feeling, thinking, thoughts, activity, and consciousness. Okay, form. Okay, you attach to this body of yours. Say all you want. You attach to this body. Yes? Aren't we? Yeah. We. You know, right there. Body, feeling. You are seeking pleasure. You're seeking comfort. Yes? See how difficult it is to deal with this alone. So far, so good? I mean, you comb your hair, you go see a hairdresser, you get a shave and all those things. That's attachment to form. Okay? And someone praises you. Okay? Someone insults you. You say, oh my God, how could you insult me? The feelings. Okay? Thoughts. Number 3. Who likes to think? I love to think. Huh? Thinking is what defines me. What is that? The famous French philosopher, Pascal. Je pense, donc je suis. I think, therefore I am. Thinking. Okay? Smart people, we think. That's the ego. Who's thinking? The self is thinking. Okay? See how difficult it is. How do you stop thinking? And so you ask someone, how do you plan to stop thinking? He says, let me think. I say, but you're not supposed to think. I say, how else am I going to stop? I have to think. See, it's like chasing your tail, a dog chasing its tail. How do you stop thinking? And you can't figure out, you can't think it through. It's not the way that we people in the world are trained to do. Okay? Activity, meaning subconscious, the bodily functioning is called activity. Okay, a little bit lower level, and lowest level is consciousness. Okay, that is at the state of 8th consciousness, 7th consciousness, 6th consciousness, and the first 5 consciousnesses. Okay? So the 8 consciousnesses at that level, we are aware. You know, we're aware of things. So far, so good. So afflictions are outflows. They drain you and actually make you very icky. Okay, being near people who are afflicted, and then you know what I'm talking about. And in fact, in the shastras, in the Buddhist shastras, they can break down, especially Vasubandhu, that bodhisattva, he broke down afflictions. In the Buddhist teaching, the Buddha defined very clearly what afflictions are. Okay, and there's a shastra written by Vasubandhu who summarized them into 10 different kinds of dharmas that you can concentrate when you cultivate, and there are different kinds of afflictions that they broke it down, and that you can do that, and at a scholarly level, but it's not necessary to be that detailed. Okay, but afflictions. Remember, afflictions are things that. What are afflictions? Afflictions are movements of your mind. As soon as your mind moves, it's an affliction. That's why in Chan school, what did they say? 不动, don't move. Is that clear? You don't sit there, meditate, doing Chan, and then you say, you flip your phone, say, oh, let me see. What is that? Movement of the fingers. It's even so coarse compared to movement on mind. Mind says, I'm not moving, I'm not moving, I'm not moving. Okay, there's some people who meditate like that. I'm not moving, I'm not thinking anything, I'm not thinking anything, I'm not thinking anything. I mean it. I insist. Okay? So the mind moves. That's why one of the first trainings in China, I got so tired of it because every time I meditate with you, I kind of every now and then open the eyes and someone is moving. So I said, oh, I'm going to close my eyes because it makes me so afflicted. How many times I have to tell you not to move? Okay? It afflicts me when you move. And thus, and so think of those, that order, skandhas, the self first, get rid of the internal afflictions, and get rid of the dust, affliction from the dust. Okay? Any questions, comments? And this is what differentiates a great teacher from the rest of us. He says he sees the clarity of the order. You see the precision in the instructions. Whereas low lives like us, Chan teachers like us, keep on telling you about, get rid of your afflictions. Okay? And you get rid of your afflictions, and they keep on multiplying. And then you ask yourself, how much longer do I have to go at this? Only because we never put the emphasis for you. Okay? When we tell you the rid of afflictions, okay, we can't go out and be blunt about it. Those afflictions that we ask you to get rid of actually are designed to help you destroy the 5 skandhas. That's a genius of the Chan training. You don't know it, but we know. You can't figure it out yourself. Have any questions? All right? And that's the thing I keep on observing in others, meaning that they're committing mistakes and errors, and they have no clues at all that they're wrong. Q&A.
Thank you, Master. So when you find your afflictions, what do? Just nothing?
You find your affliction, you embrace them.
What does that mean?
It means that you go home, you hug your wife, say, I love you, you are my biggest affliction. How else can you do it? You have a better suggestion, huh, Daniel? Your wife is one of the biggest afflictions you have. What are you going to do? What do you want me to tell you? Okay, you don't have a wife. Never mind. How about your mother?
Embrace her. Talk more to her on the phone. Ask her what's going on in her life.
Yeah, you see? So you love your mother, yes?
Yeah.
You want to get rid of her?
No.
There you go. There you go. If you can't get rid of her, hug her. That's all. You have to be smart. I can't get rid of you this lifetime, so I'm going to hug you. I'm going to love you to death. But next lifetime, I don't want to see you. You see? Yeah. And that's part of that's why it's called great wisdom. Okay? This is very interesting. Here's what happens. You all should have asked me, because you're so impressed by the precision I pointed out to you. You have to start first with the ego, the self. The first effort should be to destroy the ego, meaning get to fourth stage Arhat. Remember? Right? That's why I keep on telling you, I say, hey, until you get to fourth stage Arhat, I don't bother with you. I mean, because whatever I tell you, you're going to turn around and, do the same stupid things anyway. So what's the point? So I say, okay, go hug your mother, hug your wife, get a few more wives. I don't care, okay? So it's the best of both worlds. But until you get to a state where you get closer and closer and destroy the 5 skandhas, then we can talk about affliction, then we can talk about the dust. Okay? All right. And that's the wisdom that the 6th Patriarch is pointing out to us. He says, you must use great wisdom. The question should be, what is great wisdom? Huh? You should have asked me right away. But I don't have great wisdom. You see, all you are phonies. You say, oh, of course, I have great wisdom. I just don't, I can't use it to destroy my 5 skandhas. Everyone focuses on the 5 skandhas, afflictions and dust and so forth. But the premise is that how are you going to destroy it? With great wisdom. The question then should be, if I have not great wisdom, can I destroy the 5 skandhas? I'm reminding you, those who've been here with me already for a while, I explained it to you once already, chapter number 2, and none of you asked the question. So I said, I'm going to wait, I'm going to hold my breath until someone asks a really smart question. So I said, there's no hope for these people, so I ignore explaining great wisdom for you. Okay? Now comes second time around. Many of you are enlightened already. And still, none of you ask, what is great wisdom? How the heck I'm going to use great wisdom to destroy the 5 skandhas when I don't have great wisdom? Isn't that a chicken and egg problem? Which one comes first? The chicken or the egg? This is an American thing. He says, which comes first? The egg that produces the chicken, or the chicken that produces the egg? What comes first? Yes, sir.
Well, Diego was saying baby steps, right? So is the only way to destroy affliction to have great wisdom? And if that's the case, every time we destroy an affliction, we get past the affliction, maybe it adds a little bit to our wisdom until eventually it comes great. Is that true?
So using your baby steps theory and Diego's theory, which one comes first? The egg or the chicken?
The blessings.
I'm running out of vocabulary to insult you, so I don't know what else I can use. Anyone else? How do you do that? How can you use something you don't have in order to destroy something that you have? Huh? History repeats itself. You didn't ask the last time because you didn't understand anything. So I forgive you. Now I call you enlightened, and you so you are this fourth stage. You are ground here, ground there, and you still don't get it. Okay, I'm going to demote all of you. Okay. Yes, two.
Thank you, Master. Maybe because you were teaching that people are teaching us another Dharma door, so they can destroy the 5 skandhas without the great wisdom at that moment.
This guy is so creative, he can talk on both sides of his mouth. I don't have it, but I think maybe I can do it. I love my wife, but maybe not. I love my wife, it's true, but maybe my great wisdom says I really don't love my wife. Q&A.
The way that people have gone greatly enlightened is either because they have great blessings, which a lot of us don't, and the other way is through the good knowing advisor that uses his great wisdom.
I can't disagree with you when you mention great knowing advisors. Anyone else? How are you going to do it? The only way, it's interesting that Master Huineng says, in order for you to destroy the ego, you need to use your great wisdom. And there's a chicken and egg problem. You don't have great wisdom. How on earth are you going to use your great wisdom to destroy your own ego? Okay? But on the other hand, the Master also says, it's possible. Right? And that's a great news. Don't give up. Okay? You say, I don't have great wisdom, forget it, it's not for me. I'm going to go, do yoga, do Pilates or something. At least I can do something about it. It's real to me. Because the Master says, the 5 skandhas, my ego, myself, I can only be destroyed by my own great wisdom. Okay? So, how do you destroy it? Here's what happens. This is so interesting. So, if you want to destroy the 5 skandhas, you have to use great wisdom. Yes? Okay? What's wrong with the question? If I need to use great wisdom, I have no great wisdom. What the heck? How the heck am I going to destroy myself? Huh? Right? What's wrong with that question? Old monk, old abbot, what's wrong with my question? Q&A.
A Di Đà Phật. Cái này con biết lâu rồi nhưng mà nãy giờ con không muốn nói là tại thầy nói con nói dài quá, không quá 2 câu nên nói không có được. Biết cái này lâu rồi, Bồ Tát Quan dạy con 32 năm rồi.
Okay. Let's translate. This is interesting.
Master, I knew this one long time ago. But
He has an answer for 32 years already.
I knew it 32 years ago, but because Master said that I talked so long, so that's why I've been holding my tongue.
He cannot explain it in less than 2 sentences. How about I give you 3? Can you do it in 3?
Cách đây mấy ngày con dở cái cuốn kinh Lăng Nghiêm ra đó, thì đúng một cái lời dạy con biết lâu rồi, tức là Đức Phật thí dụ như trí huệ với thiền não đó. Cái biển, cái bọt nước á, cái biển đã có sẵn, trí tuệ chúng ta đã có sẵn, Phật tánh đã có sẵn, nhưng mà vì cái ngu muội, cái vô minh bất chắc, chúng ta khởi lên những hành động mà nó không có đúng, rồi chúng ta chấp theo cái mình nghĩ. Thì cái chuyện mình thiền não nó giống như cái bọt nước á, từ trong cái biển nó sinh ra, nhưng mà mình cứ chấp cái bọt nước là mình, trong khi trí tuệ mình, Phật tánh mình nó như cái biển mênh mông á. Đó là cái ngu muội của mình, và Ngài A Nan mà Đức Phật chỉ ra. Thì bây giờ mình muốn phá nó thì sao tin lời Phật? Mình buông cái bọt nước đi, đừng có chấp theo nó, thì mình còn cái biển là mình đó với Phật. Rồi bây giờ trong thời gian mình làm không được, mình thương vợ mình quá, mình thương tiền, thương nhà, vì cái nghiệp mình nó bị tịch thu tài sản, mình thay vì mình tự tử, mình tin cái lời Phật giảng là do cái nghiệp mình chấp cái bọt nước đó là mình. Thì bây giờ làm không nổi, phải không? Thì Phật có dạy mình chú Lăng Nghiêm, chú Đại Bi, những cái dụng cụ như bây giờ thầy đưa một cái chảo rất là nhiều mỡ dầu, rửa không nổi thì người ta đưa mình một cái thuốc, nó bông rất tốt, rồi đi hết thôi. Bây giờ hỏi giờ mấy tiếng đồng hồ giải quyết không được, mà con nói rồi hai câu làm sao nói. Cái này là Bồ Tát Quan Âm dạy con hồi năm 1990 á.
What's wrong with these people? They said, Master, you are unreasonable. You cannot ask me to explain in 2 sentences. It takes half an hour at least. Don't even translate. It's okay. Any other Q&A thing there? No? Okay. Yes, 6.
Master, so I was working and then my manager also said the same thing to me. He told me that my email was so long, cut everything in half, give him only 2 sentences. I thought of you.
I thought of me. No wonder I was meditating and said, "Oop, someone is thinking of me." Yes, Catholic. 6.
My question would be, what is great wisdom? How do we get great wisdom? And what is the difference between great wisdom and wisdom?
Great wisdom is great wisdom. Wisdom is not that great. That's the difference. Obvious? Oh my God. What? One is wisdom, one is not great. Yes, 6.
Master, so this sentence say use great wisdom. So the question asked is, if I don't have great wisdom, how can I use it?
Yeah.
This sentence only say the great wisdom doesn't have to be you. It has to come somewhere else.
I tricked you, but I couldn't trick you, could I? Very good. You fired. Don't ever come back. You're stealing my thunder. I was setting all of you up. I said, I made it so personal. I said, but you're stupid. I used a chance to insult you. You're so stupid. How can you possibly have great wisdom? He said, oh, you're right. I'm so stupid. You all bought into it, except for one. See how you explain it in 2 sentences? You only have to use 1 sentence. I don't need half an hour. It's not your great wisdom. It's a good knowing advisor's great wisdom. Make sense now? It is so beautiful. Think about it. He gives all the clues here. If you don't have great wisdom, then use someone else. Don't just say, no, I don't have great wisdom, forget it. This doesn't apply to me. Are you kidding? He made the effort to explain things to us. He said, you want to destroy the ego. Use great wisdom. He said, well, I don't have great wisdom. And the answer should be, go on. And if you don't have great wisdom, then use your wives. Does it help? Isn't it beautiful? Yes, Daniel.
But how do we know when the wife has great wisdom or not?
You married to her. That's why she has great wisdom. If she didn't have great wisdom, she would not marry you. Now the puzzle is, the clues are better, huh? You see? Huh? Apple, oranges, great wisdom. I have promised you, the puzzle will be unveiled. Hang in there, kid. Yes, number 2.
Thank you, Master. Yeah, wives, they have great wisdom because they know where to poke you.
Amen. And it's great. They really know how to make you suffer. That requires great wisdom. Ru Shu, is that right? Poke him. Oh, I surrender. And it's funny because most men would like to be in control, right? I'm of the belief that we should let our wives control us. And, and move us around and manipulate us. Oh, beautiful. Like a marionette, huh? Okay. Is that clear? So you should choose great wisdom. This is kind of interesting. This is how clever it is as great wisdom. He forgot. He deliberately omitted whose great wisdom it is. Okay? Out of modesty. He cannot say, you should use a great knowing advisor's wisdom to destroy the 5 skandhas. Because to say so would be what? Self-promoting. Can't do that. That's why he can say only go this far, and it's up to us, okay, to explain it to you. Okay, this is good enough. Let's stop. It's too hot today. That's enough for a lesson, don't you think? Let's go have some ice cream. What else you want? I mean, this is, I mean, we earn our pay, okay? Agree? I'm afflicted. Yeah, I'm hot. Questions? So we don't quit? Yes, sir. Hey.
So when you said use someone else's great wisdom to destroy your affliction.
Yes.
Right. So let's say I have an affliction. So I ask you what to do about it, and you tell me what to do. So that's using your great wisdom to handle my affliction, right? Or, right? Or so.
Let me think of something insulting to reply to you. I have no great wisdom. That's why I have to think. Are you accusing me of something here? If I had great wisdom, assuming I have great wisdom, your question assumes that I'm willing to allow you to use it to destroy your ego. That's kind of a big assumption, isn't it? How stupid that is. See, it's a problem with all of you. Yeah. Well, let me use yours. Are you kidding? If I really have great wisdom, why would I let you use it? If I let you use it, then it's not called great wisdom. Cannot be great wisdom. I allow you to use it. The Koreans are they're giggling. Oh, the Americans are so crazy. The master argues with his disciples argue with the master. You know, they're getting near to fist. And they say, oh, this is madness. American Mahayana. What is going on? Yes, too.
Thank you, Master, because that is Mahayana.
There's no master, there's no disciple. Yes, Daniel. He's going to use something Buddhist against us. I know that already. He says, you guys, you Buddhists are too crazy. God is God. I mean,
I'm a little bit confused.
Sheeps are sheeps.
I'm a little bit confused. So if you want to break your 5 skandhas and you don't have great wisdom, then you want to go to someone that has great wisdom, which you don't even know if he has great wisdom. But that person, he has great wisdom, would not let you use his great wisdom to destroy your own 5 skandhas. So how does that work?
Because they look at you and say, no, never. I'm not going to help you. Are you kidding me? I have great wisdom. I would never help you. That's the first thing they should be saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay? This kid here, he says, hey, let me use your great wisdom to help myself. I mean, how insulting can that be? It doesn't bother you? If you have great wisdom, see, you don't have great wisdom, that's why it didn't bother you. You know, you have great wisdom, you have this treasure, and say, can I help myself? You have a nice car, can I drive it? You have a nice red car, can I drive it? Hell no. That's the first reaction. Get your own red car, man. Yes. Hey, he still disagrees, you see. That's how pale-faces Americans are.
Master, from what I've learned from
You are more pale-faced than yellow-faced, yes? Just for the record.
I don't know what that means.
Many Mexicans are actually of European descent.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
You're from European descent.
Yeah.
You're more pale-faced.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Pale, no color.
have some color.
So argumentative. There's an ego somewhere. Yes, sir.
I think we afflict each other in a good way. You afflict me, I afflict you. It's good for us.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm not afflicted at all. I just like insulting you, that's all. But I'm not afflicted. You're afflicted by my insults, but I'm not afflicted when I insult you.
If from what I've learned from your teachings, if anyone had great wisdom, they would want to help someone who doesn't have great wisdom for their blessings, to get more blessings. So someone with great wisdom would probably want to help someone without great wisdom to destroy their.
Have you heard of one-way streets? Huh? You go to downtown Pasadena, you foreigners don't know downtown Pasadena. Downtown Pasadena is where you get very nice restaurants here in the LA area. Good restaurant. And then many streets are one way. There's only one way, you cannot go the other way. Get it? You get it? It's called great wisdom because sometimes you design one-way streets, sometimes you design two-way streets. You happen to be one-way street. Yes, 4.
Master, I think someone who has great wisdom, like a great good knowing advisor, would, I don't think he would just give it away or let you have some. He'd make us, I bet you have to figure out what we have to do to ask for his help, that he would help us.
You don't know what you're talking about, stupid. Yes, 6. That's 2.
Thank you, Master. Maybe a good knowing advisor don't give you the fish, but teach you how to fish. So it doesn't, it guides you how you can destroy the 5 skandhas by yourself.
And so you're willing to sit there and wait until they catch a fish to give you food? Are you crazy or something? Okay, enough insults. Okay, and I reached my limit. Half an hour insulting people is the max I am willing to go. Text. Cultivate like this. You will certainly realize the Buddha way, transforming the 3 poisons into precepts, samadhi, and wisdom.
如此修行定成佛道，变三毒为戒定慧。
Okay. 91. Yeah, we have to learn something instead of insulting each other, afflicting each other. Look at that. Look at Arnold. Oof. Just a minute. What's that lady's name? Jones, some kind of Jones, right? Huh? Huh? This lady here. You guys don't watch movies at all, do you? Oh. Conan the Barbarian. Conan. This is, if you like Conan, you also are supposed to like the lady too. She's like the female version of Conan. Okay. Cultivate like this, okay? As cultivate the way I just told you, Master Huineng says, you will certainly realize the Buddha way. You will, he says, I promise you, I guarantee you, certainly is I guarantee that you will realize the Buddha way. And and then when you realize the Buddha way, you will transform the 3 poisons into precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. Okay? So greed, first poison, will be transformed by precepts. Anger will be transformed by samadhi. Stupidity will be transformed by wisdom, into wisdom. Okay? Look, we have greed, and that greed there is supposed to help transform us into purity. Yes? We are angry, and that anger there, you handle the anger properly, you can transform it using great wisdom into samadhi. Okay, so, for example, this morning during a chant class, somebody said, I sit there, cross my legs, it hurts so much, I get so angry, I say, oh, why does it hurt so much? Okay, and that's an example of anger when you practice. So how do you transform the anger into samadhi? Practical problem. Yes, I've seen too many people, too many students. They cross their legs, it hurts so much, and they beat them on the floor. In Korea, in New York, many people did that. They said, oh, this is hurt so much. Why am I doing this to myself? Okay, so that's anger. How do you change that into samadhi? In other words, you need anger in order to enter samadhi. How's that? Anger can help you enter samadhi. How? Yes?
Well, I think when you cross your legs and you get angry because of it, it's already the anger that's inside of you that's just coming out. And so when you kind of use the meditation to dissolve that sort of anger, it leaves you clear, which is just yeah.
No, you're angry because you say, why did it hurt so much? Go away. I don't want you. Get out of here. And he refuses to go and say, then you realize, oh my God, it's not leaving. So it's actually, since it's not leaving, it's me who is the problem. Okay, so let me quit. That's what happens. If you keep meditating when you get angry, when you have anger, you meditate, it will go away. It's that simple. Don't quit. Q&A. You're always looking for, can I have a headache. Can I have some aspirin? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, besides the Catholics, anyone who's Buddhist, who's been practicing chant, when you have a headache, a migraine, who still reaches for some aspirin or a Tylenol or some kind of painkillers? Anyone? Q&A.
Yeah, I was going to say that anger is a lot of energy and it's focused energy, so that can help you overcome whatever stops you from being in samadhi.
When you have so much pain in the head, okay? And you take aspirin, you take Tylenol, you take some kind of painkillers, you're missing out on an opportunity to enter samadhi. Don't take anything. Keep meditating. You will enter samadhi. We're saving the world billions of dollars every month. The Catholics, they buy, billions of buying, aspirin and Tylenol every single month because they have headaches from their wives that they love dearly. Okay? Yeah. You're so close and you keep on missing it. It's so stupid. Stupidity. Stupidity. It's a hard one. Stupidity can be turned to wisdom. I haven't figured it out yet. I usually turn stupid people away. You're too stupid, just get out of here. Go to a church or something. Oh wait, this is a church. Okay, any questions? Okay, so the master guarantees it. 92. Good knowing advisors. My Dharma door produces the 84,000 wisdoms from the one Prajna. Why?
善知识，我此法门从一般生84000智慧，何以故？
Okay, 93. Commentary. Master Huineng says, my way of practice produces 84 kinds of wisdom from one Prajna. Okay, what is this one Prajna? Okay, can we find out? This is pretty good return. From one, you have return of 84,000. And that's the kind of return we expect for investments in Buddhist temples. What can you expect, you Catholics, from investing into a church, $1 into a church? Here, he's saying, you see, if you practice my Prajna Paramita Buddhist Dharma door, $1 produces 84,000. All right? That's the kind of return. And 94. Because worldly people have 84 kinds of dust.
为世人有84000尘劳。
He explains the way you have such great return because worldly people of the world, have 84,000 kinds of dust, meaning 84,000 is symbolic for countless. You can't even count them. Too many to count. Too many to keep track. Okay? Of dust. I'm pretty sure that he'll elaborate further. Yeah? 96. In the absence of dust, wisdom constantly manifests, since it is not separate from a self-nature.
若无尘劳，智慧常现，不离自性。
97. He says, when your mind is free of dust, that's what he says as absence of dust. When your mind is free from attachments to dust, okay, then wisdom constantly manifests. Wisdom constantly comes to the fore, okay? Wisdom constantly is activated. In other words, It's activated because that wisdom is not different from the self-nature, okay, whatever it means. Okay, now, why is that? Because when you have no dust, the wisdom constantly manifests. Means that, see, the Chinese, they're so, and the way they explain things, they're so abstract, so elegant. But what it means for us, in the modern times, wisdom constantly manifests, meaning that you, what? Are using your wisdom in your decision making. It's no manifest. I mean, manifest is too abstract. You're using your wisdom. When you make a decision and your mind is free from dust, then you are deciding from a state of wisdom. That's what it means. Any problems? So now you understand why he said you should use your great wisdom to destroy the 5 skandhas, the afflictions, and the dust. You see, I just learned it, I memorized it already because it's so beautiful. It is so precise. Okay? Because once you get rid of the dust, remember the last state is the dust, then your wisdom is always in control. On the foreground, in all your decision making. See the connection? And I hope you will meditate on this, because someday you understand more why he has a certain way of, why he spoke this way. It's for our sake. Okay? We don't have time to dwell too much on this. Okay, because I'm bored. And then you say, oh, Master, BS is too much. You know, he beats everything to death. No, maybe the 3rd iteration, I will explain a little bit more to you. Okay, 98. Understand that this Dharma is just non-thought. It is non-remembrance, non-attachment, and the non-production of falsehood and error.
悟此法者，即是无念、无意、无着，不起狂妄。
狂妄, very good. 99. Okay, he says, I spoke a lot to you. I explain a lot of things. I'm not sure you understand. Okay? Because, you know, those of you who are a little bit stupid couldn't understand how to use great wisdom to destroy your, you know, your 5 skandhas and the afflictions and the dust and so forth. Okay? And so forth. Okay? So he says, I tell you what, let me flip the table around and tell you that never mind about those things. If I don't get those things, what is another way? What's another alternative approach for me? Okay? So he says, this Dharma door, this Prajna Paramita, yes? Number 1 Dharma door, supreme Dharma door, unsurpassed, yes? Is just non-thought. What's non-thought? Don't think. Don't think so much. Don't scheme so much, because when you think, you scheme. Okay? Don't think. Non-thought. No thinking. Okay? 无意. No remembrance. Okay? It's not about cramming. Okay? Nothing to remember. So that's why I told you, unlike Master YongHua say, I want you to listen to the Dharma, take notes, come back and try to remember. My approach is that, it's in one ear, whoosh, goes out the other. Okay? No need to remember. You will naturally remember when it's important to you. You don't remember, I will remind you. If you still don't remember, I will beat on your head. I gotta have fun somehow. Okay? Non-remembrance. Is that clear? Okay? Master YongHua's teaching is for babies. He said, yeah, I want you to remember, I want you to memorize, and I want you to review. I said, no memorization, no remembrance, no review. Review is attachment. Okay? I trust in your great wisdom. Your great wisdom doesn't need to remember, doesn't need to attach to words, to notes. Okay? So does it mean you don't come to temple? No, you come, you listen, and that's it. Okay? And your great wisdom will naturally register what's important to you. Because even though your great wisdom is not at the forefront, it's still in the background. It's registering. It is still registering. So when you listen, just listen. Don't need to understand. That's the most important thing. I just don't want you to remember. I don't care you don't understand or not. Just listen. I don't care you agree or not. Just listen. Is that clear? You listen to the Dharma and say, I don't get it. I don't understand. Don't have to understand. Okay? Don't be attached to understanding. Okay? And the non-production of falsehood and error. Okay? Wang. Okay? Guang. Guang is an error. Guang, a Chinese, Taiwanese person. Someone look up Guang. Wang is false. What's Guang? Yes, 9.
Deceive, deceit, hoax, lie, and truth.
Deceit. Again, repeat, please. Guang is deceit.
Verb is deceive, deceit, hoax, noun, lie, and truth.
Hoax, lie, hoax, lie, and dupes. Okay, so that's falsehood. So Wang is error. Okay, that's fine. So falsehood is Guang, and error is Wang. Look up Wang. Falseness and mistake.
Absurd, foolish, reckless, false, unreal.
Okay, error is good. Mistake is good. Okay, it's a good translation. Non-production wuqi, non-production of falsehood and error. Okay, let me explain. Non-production, meaning that do not fabricate. Okay, don't actively fabricate falsehood. Guang is something false, misleading people, deceiving people. Okay, that's very important. This is what happened to smart people. They like to outsmart others to prove that they are smarter. Sounds familiar? It's a pretty perverse way of thinking. Smart people enjoy outsmarting us just to prove to themselves they're smarter because they're not sure. Okay? And that's the difference between smarts and wisdom. Smart people try to outsmart you. Wise people try to come across as stupid. Didn't you hear? You're so wise that you seem stupid. Okay, so the non-production of falsehood, okay, don't fabricate, okay, don't fabricate false things, don't falsify things, and error, and do not make mistakes. Avoid making mistakes. Let me explain to you. Okay, this is important. It says, so what is Prajna Paramita? Prajna Paramita is if you don't understand how you can use great wisdom to destroy the 5 skandhas, the afflictions, and the dust. Okay, that's too far-fetched for you. Let me explain to you this way. Very simple. Don't think so much. Okay? Hey, Koreans. You're too smart. You think way too much. Sound familiar? Your educational system teaches you how to think. Okay? Think at work, but don't think so much at the temples. Okay? Don't remember. Okay? It's not about cramming. It's not about knowing how many sutras you know, how many mantras you know, how much you know. Okay? And so now no thought, no recollection, no remembering, and the no production, the arisal or fabrication of falsehood. Don't deceive people, don't mislead people, and errors. Okay? Falsehood here, okay, is directed to others. Errors is directed at yourself. Okay? So, he says, my Prajna Paramita is no thought, no thinking, no remembering, no need to remember. Memory is overrated. Non-attachment. Okay? Whatever attachments or affliction you have, sever, cut them off. Okay? That you can understand. And the non-production of falsehood. Don't try to deceive others. Okay? And do not make mistakes. That's all. If you do those 5 things, then it's called Prajna Paramita. You don't need to mention about, you don't need to talk about 5 skandhas, dust, and so forth. Okay? It's just very simple daily lives, in your daily lives. Okay? Don't think so much. Don't cram so much. Okay? People mistakenly complain to me constantly, especially those who get into the arhat range. Okay? Invariably, they all told me, Master, I'm regressing. You tell me I'm to the arhat range and higher. And what happened to me is I don't remember a damn thing anymore. That is a manifestation of no remembrance, no attachment. Does it help? And please don't stop bitching, stop complaining to me. Master, I don't remember anymore. I don't remember anymore. I'm so glad. You should be saying instead, Master, I'm so glad I don't remember a damn thing. Okay? I'm so free. It's nothing that important for you to remember. It's all nonsense anyway. It's all dust anyway. Money is dust. Put it in the donation box. Huh? And be rid of it. Okay? No remember, no attachment. And the non-production of falsehood. Do not try to deceive people. Be truthful. Be honest. Don't try to deceive people. And stop making mistakes. That's all. Why? Number one, when you deceive people, what happens? When you deceive people, what? You only are deceiving yourself. It is so fundamental. You deliberately deceive people, you're only making yourself stupid. That's all you're doing. That's all you have to remember. You deceive people, are smart people, you're becoming stupid, more stupid. That's all. Number two, don't make any mistakes, because the secret about cultivation is to stay. Remember, Master YongHua, I explained to you, you don't get it. I told you repeatedly, Master YongHua created something called an expedient of a great Mahasattva. He taught us, my generation, he gave us these tips that it basically is a shortcut, it's an alleyway for us to get to enlightenment quicker. That's all. Okay? So not making mistakes means that stay within the range. Don't go outside. Okay? Don't break precepts. Don't steal. Don't be greedy. Okay? Don't climb on conditions. All those things. Remember? Wear your sash all the time. Huh? I notice people, as they get older, I don't wear sashes often anymore because they're so expensive. So my disciples started not wearing sashes either. It's so tiring, If Master does it, therefore I can do it too. So I don't shower for 3 years. You don't shower for 3 years too? You should, your head, think, don't think. I don't know, you know what I mean. So, mistakes is where you transgress, you get outside of the safe zones, the green zones, okay? Because when you get out, you'll be in big trouble. You won't be able to recover. You stay within the zone, the alley, okay? You can still recover. It's still manageable. You get out, that's when things get out of control. That's error. Okay? So much more cultivation, a big part of cultivation is avoid making mistakes. Because it's a process, okay? It is a journey. So stay within range and you get there. It's a shortcut. Stay within the boundaries. So far, so good? All right. And that's why the one thing here is that's what happens to many people. They stop their own progress because they make mistakes. They keep on saying, I can figure it out. I can figure it out. Questions or comments? Time is up. Okay? All right. Then we stop here and let's do a rebirth transference. Thank you, everyone. Next time is 100.